Hi. Hey, everybody. It's Tamara from Moogly, and I'm here live on YouTube. So I hope you're going to tune in today. It is October 2018, and in fact, it is Halloween. So happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you've got some fun plans for tonight or some candy to hand out if you celebrate. I have been already live today on Facebook this morning where I shared um, all the past projects from the month on Moogly, as well as the current giveaways and the upcoming giveaways and little sneak peeks of the upcoming patterns for November. So go to the link in the description and you will find the Facebook Live that I did this morning, as well as links to all that fun stuff. And you're also going to find links to what I'm going to talk to you about on YouTube today. So again, go to the link in the description, and there's even a printable there. And that's the topic I'm going to be talking about today. Today, I wanted to talk, in the past, I've talked about gauge and things like that. But a question I get asked a lot about is when yarn is held doubled, or for that matter, tripled or quadrupled, when you're working with multiple strands of yarn held together. I get a lot of questions on that topic. So I thought that's what I'd talk about today. And in fact, I've created a handy cheat sheet printable that I'll be talking about here in a few minutes that is at that link in that description. So you can pin it, you can print it out, swipe it on your phone to keep it on your phone, whatever works for you. So that's just a handy little cheat sheet there. So hi, Linda. Hi, Busy Diva. Oh, Busy Diva. I said it out loud and it makes sense. Great username. Thank you. Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in. So see some people are here and that's fantastic. So before I get started on today's topic, like I said, you want to go to the link in the description and hi, and get the link to the Facebook Live I did this morning so you can see all the cool stuff. But since I know YouTube doesn't get a chance to see as much as, say, Facebook or things, just because of the nature of the beast here, and some of you probably only see my stuff here, I just wanted to make sure you guys know I put out 4 new patterns this past month, if October, and all of them have video tutorials here on the YouTube channel. They're the Autumn Amore set, and so if you missed those, there are hats, and this is all in the moss stitch, by the way. Let me kind of hold it still here. There we go. So this is the moss stitch in 3 colors, and it's all made with Redheart Amore, which is a crazy beautiful soft yarn. But like I said, there are hats. There is more hats. A bunch of sizes of hats. Sorry, here's the little one. So they go all the way down to baby size for the hats. Then there's a cowl that actually comes in 3 sizes. I like mine a little tighter, more of a kind of like a neck warmer, but there are longer ones if you like longer ones. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I love seeing all your comments. And then there's a scarf pattern. So if you just want like a simple straight scarf, and I included the measurements for both kids and adult sizes. And then there are mittens, and the mittens come in 3 different sizes. We've got kind of a teen, small adult, a large adult. I wear the small adult. My husband wears the large adult. My teen daughter would wear the small adult. And then we've got a child size for younger kids. So those are all fun, and those are all free. The written patterns are on Moogly, but the videos are right here on YouTube. So if you go to the YouTube tutorial for any of those, you'll get the links to the written pattern in those descriptions, or you can go to the link in the description for this video, and I've got all of that linked out as well. So you can get all that stuff there. So that's what happened in the last month, but there are also giveaways happening right now on Moogly that I don't want you guys to miss out on. That, again, if you've only been following me on YouTube, you might not have seen. Let me, ta-da! I have to pop down and pick stuff up. I've got all kinds of things surrounding me to show you guys. All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I see we've got people from California, Ohio, Virginia, Salt Lake City. What a beautiful city. I've been there 3 times now. It's really beautiful. Riverside, California, crocheting beanies. Awesome. Albuquerque and more California. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. So anyway, go to mooglyblog.com right now. You'll find giveaways happening. We've got a giveaway for The Crafty Llama, which is a children's book about creativity and yarn and giving and friendship, and it's really, really cute. And then what else is happening right now? We've got the Octlight Cool Breeze LED lamp. A little big. Here we go. I have to lean back. There we go. This is a very cool lamp. It's got an adjustable neck, so you can put the light right where you want it. It's got a fan, a bladeless fan built right in. It lights up when it's on. Very cool. And all the controls are right down here. Just touch. So it's got 5 levels of brightness And I don't know if you can see them in here, but it's LEDs, and they've got 3 different colors of LEDs, so you can really adjust the tone of your light and the brightness. And I love light lamps for any sort of crafting that I do. It's so much easier when you can see what you're doing, right? So that's happening. Another giveaway going on right now. Let me grab the right box here. Like I said, I've got so much stuff to show you guys. There's an Annie's Autumn Glory and Redheart giveaway. So the Annie's Autumn Glory collection is their fall collection of beautiful new patterns. And this is the one I get to give away on Moogly. You can see a peek at all the patterns. Well, most of them. I have them on the blog, but I'm giving away a copy of this pattern as well as all of the Redheart yarn that you need to make it. So definitely check that one out. I even made a little sample of it myself. I didn't have time to make the whole big baby size blanket, but I made sort of a little sampler. Isn't it cute? So you could do this size too if you didn't want to make the full size blanket. It's got this gorgeous border on it. So that's happening too. And then there is one more giveaway happening right now. So much. And this one's a little different. Nothing to do with knit or crochet, but definitely crafting. It's the Leisure Arts Diamond Dots kit. Let me hold up the one I made. Isn't that pretty? This one's the rainy day kit, and that's the one I get to give away too. Unput together, of course, so you can put it together yourself. You can see, hopefully, see how those are a little sparkly? Each one is an individual plastic little gem, and the canvas is sticky, so you just stick them right on there, and then they stay put. And then when you're all done, I took a rolling pin and rolled over it all and stick them down really well, and boom, done. I was talking about this morning. I think these are going to be a really popular alternative this holiday to the what you call it, like the jigsaw puzzles. Like I know for our family, I like to put out a jigsaw puzzle every Christmas. I think these are going to be a lot of fun too, because you can just kind of pop in, pop out, add a few gems, walk away. They're just a whole lot of fun. So like I said, check out mooglyblog.com for all those giveaways happening right now. And then coming up in November, there will be another yarn giveaway. I will be giving away some Redheart Colorscape, which I will have a new pattern, a new one skein pattern coming out in, and that will have a video too. There will also be a new Chic Sheep pattern, Chic Sheep by Marley Bird. There will be a new With Love pattern, and I'm also having a guest pattern from Lee of Winding Road Crochet. She's going to come on and do a special holiday pattern for us, so that's really exciting. I can give you one sneak peek of a pattern here real quick, again, before we get to our main topic. It's walking on the floor behind me. I did this morning. It's so scary, you guys. My craft room is such a mess. It's always a mess. It's always going to be a mess. I think it's just permanently a mess, but here we go. So you're going to kind of see it as I lift this over my shoulder. The blanket for November is blocking on the floor right behind me. There it is. So it's round. It uses 5 solid colors and 1 striping, well, variegated color of Redheart with Love. In fact, I have the leftover bits right here. So the only one you need 3 of is the one with color. This is what was left of the 3rd one. And this one's called the Water Lily colorway. And so that's Redheart with Love. And that's what I'll be using for that blanket. So you have all of those to look forward to in November, and all of the patterns I designed, the blanket, the Chic Sheep pattern, which will be a clippers, and the Colorscape pattern will all have video tutorials as well. So again, check all of those out. So hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so let's talk about Yarn Held Doubled, our topic rather, for today. Now, it sounds really simple, right? Yarn held doubled. But what does it really mean? If you haven't encountered that instruction before, or you've encountered it for the first time, it's not obvious. It's just really not obvious at all what that is supposed to mean. What it means is essentially you've got 2 strands of yarn, whether they're from the same skein, 2 ends from the same skein, or ends from 2 different skeins. You're going to take one end of the yarn. Should I grab more yarn? Let's see. Basically, usually they'd be the same kind of yarn, but you're going to take one yarn and another yarn and hold them together. And with your hook, you're going to crochet them as if they were one strand. That's really all it means. So yarn held doubled means you've got 2 strands together, triple, 3, on up. You don't typically see above 3. I think I've got one pattern that uses 3 strands held together. It's a really fast blanket. It's actually called the Care Package Throw. It's free on Moogly, and it's got a tutorial here on YouTube. So I demonstrate in that one a little bit how to actually hold them doubled. But it's really very simple. like I say, just take your 2 strands, hold them together. See if I can grab a hook here that's a reasonable size. There we are. And then you just yarn over and keep crocheting as if it was 1 strand. So that part, the how, is actually very simple. But then the next question is why? Why would you work with 2 yarns held doubled? Well, there's 2 main reasons. Number 1, it creates a slightly different fabric. It's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit squishier. Of course, it's twice as big, which we'll get to next. That's one of the reasons. But by adding a second strand rather than just using 1 thicker strand, it can be a little denser. It can feel a little squishier. It can hold a little bit more air and even be a little bit warmer. So that's one reason. The other reason is because you want to make something that calls for a thicker yarn and you don't have a yarn that thickness. Now, theoretically, I suppose you could take some yarns and pick them apart to create a thinner yarn, but generally speaking, you can only go larger. So that's where our little cheat sheet comes in. Where did I put it down? I had so much stuff to show you guys. There we go. I printed one out myself. Okay. And this is what you'll find at the link in the description. And I'm sorry if it's showing up backwards on camera right now. I never know how YouTube is going to flip it. Sometimes it seems like they do, sometimes they don't. Depends if it's live or after. But anyway, this is the chart. It's right side around on mooglyblog.com. And it has all the information you need at a glance. So if you've got a lace weight yarn, which is a 0, hold 2 of them together. That's about the same as a fingering, which is a 1. 2 fingering yarns held together is about the same as a sport or DK weight. So that is the basic cheat sheet for it. You can hold 2 sports together to get 2 worsted or errands, 2 worsted or errands together to get 2 bulky or chunkies, which is a 5. So basically 2 zeros together give you a 1, 2 ones give you a 2 or 3, 2 2 or 3s can give you a 4, 2 4s can give you a 5, 2 5s can give you a 6. So that is really just the simple cheat sheet method. Now, if you wanted to get into the math of it, you can start looking at the plies or wraps per inch and see that you essentially want to be doubling those or making those equivalents. But for a quick and dirty method, those are the simplest substitutions. So for an example, just of some of the different yarn weights, I put together a little selection of yarns here. Now, in the 1 category, I have Redheart. It's a wrap. And you can see, hopefully if I can find the end here, the end on this one's always just a little bit trickier to find. But I'll just pull out 1 string here. You can see how very thin that strand is. So if I hold 2 together like that, it's still not going to be terribly thick. So this 1 is only going to move up to a 2. So it's still quite thin, but I might have to use a bigger hook size, and it might just give me that gauge that I need for that pattern. So that's always an option. This one is one of my favorite 3s that Redheart makes. You can see right here, it's got the little yarn symbol 3 on it. There we go, although it's backwards. But this is Redheart Fashion Soft. And this one is a really great yarn for fashion. I think it's really great for clothing. The Saturday sweater was designed in this yarn. You can see there what that one looks like. And if I hold 2 of these together, let me get this around my finger here. There we are. Hopefully you can see how that's approaching what's closer to a worsted weight yarn. Let me grab a worsted to compare. Here we have Chic Chic. This is a worsted or aran weight yarn, so number 4. I really should have pulled all my ends out first, huh? I'm going to fiddle with all these. So hopefully, let me wrap this around my finger here. And hopefully we can get a good view here. So I've got my 2 sport weight yarns right here. I'm going to squish them together. The joy of live, huh? There we go. And there's my worsted. So you can see, hopefully, there, if I hold still, that those is going to work up about the same thickness as that. So it's not a perfect science, and it's going to get wobblier the bigger you get. Because, I don't know if you guys remember, but until a few years ago, I think 6 was as big as the sizing went for numbers on yarn. So I've got, let's see, is this one? Yes, Evermore, Redheart Evermore. I've got the label right here. It's the one I pulled up right here. This is a 6. And this used to be the biggest yarn categorization that the Craft Yarn Council had. But the problem with that was there was basically a minimum for 6, but it could just keep going. And you guys have seen those big, thick roving yarn blankets and, you know, some of those really great big yarns. There's some really thick stuff out there. And categorizing them the same as this, of course, makes no sense. I could take, where's my 5? Here, this is my 5-weight one, Redheart Soft Essentials. I can take 2 of these together and reliably get a pretty good 6. But is it going to be exactly the same thickness? Maybe, maybe not. And if I put 2 of these 6s together, where do we go from there? That used to still be a 6. Well, now, sorry, I've got too much stuff here. It's rolling all over. Now they've added 7, the jumbo yarn category. 6 is super bulky or super chunky, and now they have 7, which is jumbo. Now, if I hold 2 of these 6s together, you can see that's pretty darn thick. I'm probably going to want to use a bigger hook. This is a big old clover. So you can see I'm going to want to use a big hook with these. But this hook would not be nearly big enough to hold some of the 7s. For instance, Redheart Irresistible, biggest yarn I currently have in my own collection. And this is a 7, this is a jumbo. And they just keep going from here. You can see just how thick this one is. So if I were trying to replace this one, I wouldn't necessarily just want to use the cheat sheet formula. I would want to, you know, really have an idea of maybe how many wraps per inch this yarn gives me, or have some on hand if possible, or at least a little piece of it, so that I could start, or maybe even just use the hook size as a judge. If you know that this yarn or whatever yarn you're going for has to be used with a certain hook size, then you can see how many strands of the yarn that you're trying to substitute, say you were using the Evermore, how many of those would you want to hold together to fill up that same space and sort of give you that same look and thickness. Obviously, you would want more than 2 to equal one of these, possibly 3 or even 4. So, like I say, that cheat sheet will get you started, but it's not the end all be all. But it's with the smaller yarn sizes, it's a good way to get started and just have some fun substituting yarns for thicker yarns. I know especially if you're in the UK or Europe or some other countries, it can be a lot harder to find some of these thicker yarns. But that doesn't mean you can't make a pattern. You can just hold some of the yarns you do have doubled and play with the fabric a little bit and see if it's something that might work for you and work for the project you're making. So that is really about it for yarn held doubled. Like I say, you can use that formula then to figure out even more so if you want to have 3 together or 4 together, 5 together. It sort of gets you started on the algebra for that. So let's see some comments here. Tamara George says, I've been running across a lot of doubles recently. I think it's a lot of fun. I know actually a funny story about it. When I was writing Quick Crochet for the Home, the goal, of course, was to have projects for the home, and they should all be relatively quick to make. Well, the what you call, not producer, what do you call them for books? The people behind the book, F&W. They really, the agent, that's it, my agent editor person. She really wanted me to use a bunch of different yarn weights, which I totally get. We wanted to have a variety of yarns, a variety of yarn weights. But the problem was, unless you're making something very tiny, when you're working with fingering weight yarn, it's not going to be very quick. So that was kind of the way I got around it in my book. I started using some of the yarns held double, especially those really thin ones. I was able to use those really beautiful, thin, unique yarns, but still make relatively quick projects with them. So that was my little trick for that one. So Margaret says it's not backwards for you. Oh, good, good. It looks backwards for me. So it's always so hard to tell. So Donna, you love the round floor on. Oh, thank you. Yes, and the baby blanket. Thank you so much. That blanket is so much fun. If you guys haven't made one of those round mandala, however you're supposed to say that, one of those round blankets before, I think they're a lot of fun because for me, for this one, I tried to sort of repeat some of the same ideas for the rounds, but because it grows every time, unlike a blanket where it's just in rows and straight, every row really is just a little bit different, up to a point anyway, at least in the number of repeats. So I tried to repeat some so it didn't get too difficult, but it's kind of like doodling, where you're just kind of seeing how the yarn wants to work together. So it was a lot of fun to make, and I hope you guys will give it a try. So let's see. Makes a great scraptastic blanket. That's right, Anish Norge. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hard to say with usernames, but you're right. Yes, if you've got a whole bunch of leftover yarn, again, the care package throw would be a great use for yarn held tripled in that case. But it's a great way to just really not only make a project super fast, like I was talking about for my book, But use up all your scraps. I mean, colors that you would think you wouldn't normally put together, just start throwing them together. Hold them together as you crochet and make a big scrap blanket or something like that. And you might be surprised. You can really come up with some beautiful things. I know I made a scrap corner to corner one time where I just threw all my number 4 weight yarn in a big bin, and I went through it in random, I guess you could say random rainbow order. I just would pick out random reds until I ran out of reds, and then random oranges until I ran out of oranges. And it was just a lot of fun. So that can be a great use for it too. Let's see. And Patricia, hi from Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, hi. Hi. Thanks so much for tuning in. So anyway, I think that's about it for Yarn Girl Doubled. I can't think of anything else to say about it. And I've given you a little sneak peeks of some of the things coming up. Let's see. If you want to know about some of the giveaways that are coming up next month, like I said, I'll have some Colorscape that I'll be giving away in November on Moogly. I will have some Babé Faye hat templates, which if you haven't seen these before, because I haven't talked about them on YouTube before. Where did I put them? Down here. These are really neat, and I'm really excited to be sharing these again on Moogly. These are hat templates. Let me see if I can, the light's a little hot. There we go. You can kind of see they are plastic, so they're strong and heavy duty, and they come sized. If you get the whole set, which is what I have here, they go from tiny preemie all the way big adult, big enough for me and then some. And I've got a big head. These are really great if you like to design your own hats or just kind of make up hats as you go. Because if you work top down, you start here in the middle, just like you'd start with your magic circle, or your ring, or your chain 4 and join, however you're going to start your hat top down. And then when the size of your hat matches the outside of the template, it's big enough around for that size. And then when it's the same length, about how long, it's going to be about the right length. If you like them slouchy or shorter, you may need to adjust, but it's a good start. It's a jumping off point. So it comes with a whole chart of which template for which size. So it's really a great product. So I'm excited to be sharing those again. I will also have some storage solutions, which I'm excited to share with you guys. I know the holidays are coming up and we're going to have guests. And I know I host Thanksgiving and Christmas for our family. So organization, yeah, let's just say the party's not down here in the craft room. But I love organizational things. So I'm excited to share those too. And then, of course, I will have a crochet book. Well, it went around somewhere. It'll be a surprise. I will have a crochet book to give away as well. If you watch this morning's Facebook Live, you'll be able to see it there. And I have, like I say, more sneak peeks of the patterns to come too. So I think I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go so my kids can come inside. They get out early on Wednesdays and they know they have to sneak in if mom's doing her YouTube Live once a month. So I will definitely be back the last Wednesday of November for another YouTube Live. And I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. I haven't decided yet. I've got a couple ideas, but if there's something you guys want to see, let me know. Shoot me an email, comment on the blog post, comment down here on this video, wherever is convenient for you. I am certainly open to suggestions. I also wanted to point out, though, that November 14th, I will be in Denver with Marley Bird, national spokesperson for Redheart Yarns. We're going to be doing a Facebook Live together. So I know we're on YouTube, but definitely try and come check that out on Facebook. We're going to be having a lot of fun, and I can't wait. So, and I get to see my friend Marley Bird and hang out. So I hope you'll join us. We always have a lot of fun together. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Redheart for sponsoring all these beautiful projects. And I can't wait to share more with you guys. Happy Halloween, and don't forget to go vote. However you're going to vote, don't forget to go vote. Thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon.